Hello, welcome back to Go With the Head in a Book. Happy New Year. This is the first Booktube of 2015. So, yeah, I'm doing my top 10 Tuesday, which I've actually never done as a Booktube before. Normally I write a list, and yeah, I really enjoy just coming up with whatever top 10 I'm thinking of that particular week. Anyway, before Christmas, my first top 10 Tuesday of December was my letter to Santa Claus. Now, it worked very, very well. It worked very, very well. No doubt because, the man himself at the North Pole, got things together. That could be one reason. It could also be because my mother reads my blog. And so I did very well. I had a great book related to Christmas. And I wanted to show you, I wanted to do my top 10 books which I found in my Christmas stocking. But I thought, having already done the list of, the books I was asking Father Christmas for, it would be a little bit repetitive. So I thought I'd just show you. So, here goes. So, for my birthday, I got Literary Discography, which is so much fun. Basically, like I say, I enjoy doing top 10s, but this is every single conceivable kind of list you could ever think of. I mean, I've got fictional characters I would go on a date with. I've written John of Gaunt and the books which he appears in. So, I mean, I've only just started, but I can tell there's going to be hours of fun out of this one. So, yeah, bravo to the person who got me that. She knows what her name is. Her name is Mum. More books that I'm excited about. Now, this one, Waterstones? What was going on? You weren't stocking this? Yeah, I am a really, really big Laura Ingalls Wilder fan, and for people who don't know, her series, Little House on the Prairie, was originally based on her memoirs, but because, life is tricky and la la la, she'd kind of taken out some of the grimmer aspects when she wrote the entire series, and but yeah, the adult memoir has been published for the very, very first time, and it's annotated. It's like the best book ever. There are other, the world is full of excellent books, but this is very, very exciting. It's got lots and lots of pictures, and it's actually really interesting. I've only just started. I'm not very far in. But given that Little House on the Prairie is all about, Laura and her sisters, Laura and her parents, Laura and Almanzo, this is already a lot about Laura and her daughter, and it's a whole new dimension. So, yeah, very, very excited about this one. I'm a bit of a geek, but I think we knew that already. Okay, and I was really surprised to get this one, but again, I mean, the last two were books of my mum, this one as well, and I'm still just really, really touched that she understood why I wanted this one. This is Lizzie Bennet's diary. It's kind of like a pop-up book. I mean, hang on, I'll get you in the camera. Yeah, it's got quite a lot of pop-up bits, pop-up book about Pride and Prejudice. It's a child's version, but it's really beautiful. It is. I mean, my mum said it's kind of like the Jolly Postman meets Jane Austen, so if you can imagine that. But it's really good, and also my copy has been signed. So yeah, no, I love it. I really, really do. I will explain more about it on my actual blog, but yeah, it's really good. Well done, Mum, again. This one, I got The Testament of Youth. I know it's going to be really depressing as a read, because, First World War, but I'm actually really excited to read it, just the same. Because I do want to kind of understand more about World War One, because there's so much about it at the moment, but the whole thing with the Christmas truce and Sainsbury's and it got me really cross. I mean, anybody who's ever read my review of The Boy in Striped Pyjamas will know what I feel about that kind of thing, and I just found it really offensive. So I do kind of want to understand a bit more about things from the perspective of people who are actually there, because I don't like the way it's being commemorated at the moment. And anyway, moving on. Got this one as well. These are all books from my mother, by the way. This is Hollow Crown. It's the sequel, kind of, to The Plantagenets, which he wrote a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's The Wars of the Roses. Can't wait to see how it all turns out. It's not like I've ever read anything about the Tudors before, but no, I think it's going to be really, really good, because he is a very, very interesting writer. And I think I've only in the last few years really been reading about the House of York and all of that bunch of crazy people, because anyway, there's more to it than I'd kind of previously thought, because I was so Tudor focused. Anyway, This is another one again. Thank you, Mummy. This is another probably going to be quite a sad book. This is about the 4 daughters of Nicholas, Tsar Nicholas. So they're Olga, Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia. And the thing is, I went to an exhibition at the National Museum of Scotland a few years ago, and I've always just been kind of interested in the Romanovs, so yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that. And then I also got Saplings, which I've already started. It's an adult novel by Noel Streatfeild, who wrote Ballet Shoes and quite a few other books, and always been a big fan of Noel Streatfeild. But this is really fascinating because I've started it already. It's to do with like wartime, but from the point of view of children. But she's it's very different to her children's work already, and I'm very much enjoying it. So those are the books which thank the praise be to Mummy. That's what I got from her. Now, some very generous people gave me some lovely book vouchers. So this is what I've got with those. So I've got The Making of Home. Oh, there's a sticker on that. Never mind. I've not started it yet because I really like Judith Flanders. I read The Victorian House quite a few years ago. I just think she's brilliant, really. The way that she I'm saying a lot. I'll stop. The way she makes things, the details, the way that she goes for those is absolutely fascinating. So I'm excited about that too. I think I'm just a really big social history fan, and I think that may be clear from the books I've read before. I will stop saying it. So this is another one. This is the Emmeline Pankhurst story, because another centenary we're coming up against is about the suffragettes. So want to find out more. Don't know an awful lot about them. Would like to find out more. Also, this one has been the book of the month in Waterstones, so I just wanted to find out. And I'm realising that although I think I don't like science fiction, when I actually sit down and read it, I really enjoy it. So I'm making an effort to find more science fiction, because it turns out I'm a fan. Yeah, who knew? This is Slipstream by Elizabeth Jane Howard. So, Castlets, any fans of the Castlets out there? This is, her memoirs. And now the thing was about that, I read All Change last year, wasn't crazy about it. I'm kind of in my head discounting it as part of the story. I think I'm going to keep it as a quartet in my own mind. But she was a fascinating woman. I read Millions Like Us, like a history about women in the 1940s, and her life was amazing. And I just thought, I'd like to find out more about her. And she was right until she was 90, which was pretty impressive. And she was married to Kingsley Amis, which takes a lot of guts. So I think it's going to be really, really interesting. What else? Where are we? Okay, I've already reviewed this, Meet Up Pretty One Day. I got that with my vouchers. I love David Sedaris. I just think he's so cool. I've grown up with his voice on Radio 4. So, I really enjoyed this. The fact that I finished it already probably, gives that one away. But also got Eavesdropping in Jane Austen's England, because Laurie over on the Emerald City Book Review, hi Laurie, she reviewed, I think I read The Real Jane Austen and she reviewed it, but I think she said that she thought I'd like it, so this is kind of on her recommendation. Yeah. And this one is The Watcher in the Shadow. I don't know a lot about it yet, but the blurb looks interesting, because I read Bees and Mist last year and I really enjoyed that, so I think this kind of looks sort of within the same ballpark, kind of, This is The Penelope Ad by Margaret Atwood, because I'm trying to read more Margaret Atwood and then I keep not. So, this one is interesting because it's the Penelope's eye view, really, of what's going on during the Odyssey. Because Odysseus was a really not a nice man. All that time that he was sailing about during the Odyssey, he cheated on her with so many different people. And then he came back and hanged all of her handmaidens. And Odysseus, what were you thinking? So, story from Penelope's point of view sounds good. Yeah. Now, Girl Trouble. I got that with my vouchers too. It's a history of feminism. Well, no, I've read stuff like that before, but it's about girls behaving badly, pretty much, and I just thought it looked interesting because I read The Gender and a few other things last year, and just wanted to keep looking. This one is The Quick, so another Dr. Waterstone's book club book, which I tend to think means that a book is going to be pretty good. And yeah, that one was got that. Now this is Whiskey Galore. Now I have a weird tradition that probably nobody will be aware of, is that I always buy a book when I go to Edinburgh, because there's about 3 of my favourite bookshops up there. But this time I was so busy I didn't get round to it, and I was at the train station thinking, I've not bought a book, and I'm just a bit OCD. And I found this in the Waverley train station bookshop. And you know what, actually, I would have got it no matter where I saw it, because it's Whiskey Galore. It's a 1940s Ealing Studios comedy film. It's about, in World War II, there's this bunch of Scottish, I think they're on the Hebrides, perhaps, or on an island. Anyway, they're out of whiskey, life is rubbish, and then a big ship filled with whiskey runs aground, and they're told, don't go for the whiskey, by the British soldiers. And so they have to do a whole con in order to grab it. The film's good, apart from the last 20 seconds or so, because it, in order to get through censorship in America, they had to say that actually the alcohol only made them sadder than before. Yes. The Americans basically spoiled the whole thing because they got a bit squeamish about the film promoting alcoholism. Yes. So basically, whenever I watch it, I have to be really careful and just stop right before that bit, because it just ruins the whole rest of it for me, and it's Americans. Anyway, so those are all the books which I was deliberately given by my family, in the form of book vouchers, and my mum, who, so thank you to all of you. It's exciting. But I also have some more books that were given to me, slightly less loving reasons, perhaps, I don't know. Anyway, hang on, can't reach the other two. Here we go. So I got home, I had some books waiting for me from Bookbridger, which I don't remember requesting, but thank you. So this one's by Karen Maitland. It's The Raven's Head. I'm quite interested. I did read, she wrote The Company of Liars, and I read that a few years ago, and I didn't like it. So I'm hoping I like this one better, since I kind of need to review it. Then this one is The Devil. It's to do with, about the time, I think it seems to be about the time of William the Conqueror coming to the throne, but there's also some chat about Canute and other kings from back then. I was speaking to somebody about this book, and they've never heard of Canute. Surely everybody knows who Canute is. He's the waves guy. He sat on his throne, and he was like, waves, go back, and then they didn't, and he was really sad, and he had wet feet. Ring any bells? Is it just me? Okay, never mind. Okay, and this one I also have Matthew's Tale by Quentin Jardine. I've never read anything by him. My dad has, so I might pass it on to him once I've finished it. But it looks interesting. It's Scottish, and I like Scotland. But I don't remember actually requesting it. And I've had this one for ages, and I'm really sorry, and I'm totally going to read it. But it's a hardback, and I tend not to take hardbacks on the bus. But it's occupation of Paris and World War II. I like not like World War II. World War II was terrible, but I am interested in World War II. So there goes another one. And the last one, I also have Mr. Mac and Me, which I seem to put elsewhere. So those are all of the books which I have on my not urgent, but they're my new additions to the to be read pile, and some of them I've actually already read, and I'm very, very excited. I'm very happy. I can't stop smiling about how many wonderful books I have. And so that's my top 10, except there's it's like 20. Okay, you get the idea. I'm going to be a very busy girl this year. Okay, well, take very good care. Have a lovely evening. Bye bye.